Hey guys! So today I decided to do a little bit of a video that was inspired by my Disney College program that I did last year. So today I'm kind of just going to be debriefing a bit of what the program is and a few tips for those people who are maybe thinking about going or are going. So yeah, let's get started. So, what is the Disney College Program? So I'm from Canada, so that just means it's the Disney International College Program. If you're from anywhere outside of the States, you're considered international. Duh. Basically what it is you go there and there's different programs. So for myself, it was a 6-month program and I took it with my college, and it was also an education portion as well. I'm just gonna explain my program because there's so many different programs, especially if you're international or not international. If you go for like 4 weeks to like 6 months, or if you go for like a year. With my school, I was able to go down to Disney for 6 months. I applied to be part of the program, and a recruiter from there came down to my school and interviewed us, and we went through like a process, like a normal hiring process like any other job. But once I was accepted, I just had to get papers ready and everything and get prepared. For my first 10 days, I was in Tallahassee, Florida at Florida State University. We stayed on campus just like we were students there, and we went to school for those 10 days straight and had a blast. We did a lot of fun activities. After those 10 days, we all drove down to Orlando. But yeah, so we all drove down in this massive bus to Orlando, which was, I want to say, a 3 or 4 hour drive. In Disney, they have different campuses, I guess. Me and 2 of my friends and a few other Asians that I kind of sort of maybe didn't really know just from the 10 days at Florida State University. Got off at Chatham Square and we went to check in and everything. And I had no idea who I was going to be roomed with because I didn't link with anybody. Me and 7 Asians ended up getting roomed all together, which at first I was like, oh boy, like me and 7 Asians. Number one, how does that happen? Number two, like, what? How am I gonna live like this? I got one amazing friend out of it, Lisa. She actually has a YouTube channel as well, and she did a video on her experience from the Disney College program, so I'm gonna link that video at the end. I'm gonna jump into just some tips that I thought I would write down to kind of give to you guys for anyone who's thinking about going, or this is also really helpful for if you're already going. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so my first tip is to take advantage of trips and events. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of events that the housing complexes have, like grocery bingo, you can like get free groceries, trips like down to like the Asian market. They have beach trips, they have party buses if you're into partying. They had a winter formal in December. But yeah, definitely take advantage of those. So my second tip is go on your own trips. What I mean by that is you're in the States, maybe you're from Canada like myself, or maybe you're all the way from like Australia or Asia like my roommates were. You're in America, take advantage of it, explore a little bit. My third tip is booking days off as soon as possible. So this kind of ties in with my last tip, booking days off. As soon as you have access to your hub, which is like the login for like working at Disney, make sure you go and book days off as soon as possible. And think about it, even if you do book all these days off and you don't have like any plans when it comes to like the day before, like a few days before, you can easily like just go to the parks. Like, who cares if you're not going anywhere too extravagant? But you can also pick up shifts. That's always an option, guaranteed. People are always giving shifts away. So my fourth tip is taking advantage of days off. So when you do get a day off, I know you're gonna be tired sometimes, but keep doing stuff. Just go and take advantage of that day off. Like, go to the parks, go to all 4 parks in one day, go to the water parks, go like resort hopping, like it doesn't matter. My next tip is taking advantage of perks. When you work at Disney, you get tons of perks. So you get discounts on food, on merchandise, especially Pandora, because there's a Pandora in Magic Kingdom. So just take advantage of your perks. So that includes discounts, as well as they have perks such as backstage tours. I know once my friend did a tour of the Tower of Terror, which would literally be so cool. Just go ahead and take advantage of that kind of stuff. My next tip is to get PhotoPass. Photographers are covered in the park. Anywhere you go, there's photographers. When they take your picture and you go onto the app, it's there. And if you have PhotoPass, then it does not have the huge watermark saying like PhotoPass on it. It's like your picture because like you paid for it, and it's a professional photo. So keep in mind that it's professional and it's gonna look really good and probably better than some of your photos might be. But definitely get PhotoPass and share it with your friends. You can get a plan and like split it between like however many people, because you can just like link so many people onto your app, and if you're all linked, then you all have access to that same PhotoPass. Okay, next tip. Create house rules for you and your roommates as soon as possible. For myself, I moved in fresh with all these Asians. We all moved in at the same time, and I made the mistake of not really thinking about house rules until there were issues. Like, sometimes you just assume that people are clean because you're clean, when that's definitely not the case. You can't just live in a pigsty. It has to be clean. They have standards when they come and inspect. So just making sure that you set up clear boundaries, even if it's minor, because it might not be obvious to that person at all. My next tip is going to seasonal parties, like the Christmas parties and the Halloween parties. I know they cost extra, but you still get a discounted ticket. Like, you're in Disney. Just take advantage of the opportunities that you have there. Especially if like you hate waiting in lines. If you go to these parties, there's literally like no lines. Like, the longest you'll wait for anything, for me anyways, was like 20 minutes. You also have to take note that like the Halloween parties and the Christmas parties have special events that they don't have on an average day. And the earlier you go, the cheaper it is, because the closer to like the actual holiday it is, the more expensive it's gonna be. My next tip is book fast passes always, but always be checking. If you have the My Disney Experience app, that's gonna make your life like 10 million times easier. So go on the app. Even on your break at work, I would do this sometimes too. Just like checking to see what fast passes are available for the day. Sometimes you just last minute will go to the park. Like after work, you could plan to like go to Magic Kingdom, and oh, Seven Dwarfs is like a 2-hour wait. Oh, look it, there's a fast pass at 10 p.m. Like, let's book it. Even if you don't go, who cares? Like, it kind of goes to waste. But like, just book it, because getting fast passes for those super long rides are rare and hard to find. And so yeah, just book as many as you can. Definitely will make your life a lot easier, and you will have so much more time to do other things rather than waiting in line for like 2 hours for a 2-minute ride. Alright, my next tip is to go resort hopping. If you've ever been to Disney, you know that there's a ton of resorts, and if you haven't been to Disney, I'm telling you, there's a ton of resorts. Go into the gift shops, go check out the restaurants, just go wandering around. You'll find like random like little like things you never knew existed, and just like walking around and seeing like the views of the resort and like the different activities they have going on throughout the day and stuff. So my next and pretty much final tip is go on all the rides. All the rides. Like, I know you'll look at a ride and you'll be like, oh, like that's literally for like 2-year-olds. Like, I'm not going on that. Go on it. I dare you. If you're a cast member there, people are gonna ask you, so what do you think of this ride? And if you've never been on it, you're gonna be like, it's great, but like you don't actually know. So just go on the ride, experience it, just making sure you're as knowledgeable as possible. And even just for your own personal self, just go on all the rides just to say you did. Yeah, so basically those are all my tips. So hopefully this is helpful to any of you who are thinking about taking the program, or are headed to the program, or maybe you're already at the program. And anyone who's watching, just support me. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch you in my next video. Peace out.